get a life sentence or the death penalty if he kills somebody. I mean, I have been through it all as a young person, inbred with that kind of mindset. And so, this is why I have an understanding of what's going on in this world today. Now I see a maniac like the maniacs I knew back then in the White House. Now, how do you think that makes me feel?
You're concerned. You know him. No.
I mean, he hung around with the same people I did. And in fact, in his case, we know for a fact that the Ayers family actually put him through Harvard. I mean, this is... like I said, I was offered a free ride scholarship to Antioch College, which was the breeding grounds for left-wing leaders. The next step from there is to become a Rhodes Scholar, and on you go. And, Obama had it even better. I mean, he had the Ayers family paying for his Harvard education.
Well, again, 3 separate times. Once I flew somebody here. 2 other times I went out to dinner when I was in New York with socialists because I was invited to dinner just in, with groups that I was already with. They said, oh, we're not bad. The Democratic Party's not bad. Why don't you go to dinner with us? And then after they've had a few drinks, it's like this. They're usually really wimps. They're extremely wimpy. They've never really lived. They're normally real sheltered. It's always some elitist restaurant or some, high-rise penthouse. They're always trust fund, type people. And then they look you in the eye. And all 3 times they had big followings as well. Some of these are well-known people. And they start talking about, Alex, you should just join us because we're going to kill everybody. We're going to, once we get control, we're going to kill. Blood is the answer. And I'm like, are you serious? And I mean, these are like crazy people who, by the way, have probably never been in a fist fight. Probably never helped somebody on the side of the road with their head partially chopped off, blood spraying out.
Probably never fired a gun either.
No, exactly. They have no idea what they're even talking about. These are the useful idiots. But, I mean, did you experience that, this lusting to kill people?
To be honest with you, no, I didn't. I never got to that point, and I can tell you that, I crept right up to the edge, but I never followed through. For instance, when I attended meetings where I was instructed on how we were going to go blow up a chemical plant, and I listened, and something in my conscience said, don't participate in this. I still had a conscience, and I think that, what the difference between me and, some other people who never came out of that. By the way, this is what you have to understand about, this progressive thing, this socialist thing, is it's like a religion, okay? I never actually became a full-blown believer, I guess. It never got to me as something so visceral, even though I participated in riots and demonstrations and was arrested and all kinds of things like that, and talked the talk and, walked the walk. There was something preventing me from, making that last step, which is the point of no return, I guess.
Wow, and now we have a president. We're going to go to break, and I want to get into his statement that you didn't build it. If you make something or you create a song or a painting, nothing. He says the state did that.
Man, if you can't run against that guy and hang him with his own words, then you don't deserve to be president. I mean, he is providing Romney with more ammunition than, and I don't see Romney utilizing it very effectively, but that's the problem we got. It's like, do we really have an alternative here?
Well, that was my next question. I mean, Romney in the past, when he's actually in power, gun control, open borders, abortion, carbon taxes, Obamacare, he says a lot of things that are good on the surface, but I mean...
Well, you know me, I wrote the book in 2008, none of the above. I took and I got a lot of flack from a lot of friends for taking that position. I knew how bad Obama was going to be, but I actually thought, McCain wasn't a whole lot better, and maybe what we needed was a little taste of totalitarianism to get the people to rise up.
Stay there. I want to hear about that when we come back. Joseph Farah, WorldNetDaily is our guest. WorldNetDaily.com. I'm Alex Jones of Infowars.com.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think Well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, that you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Really?
The internet didn't get invented on its own.
Really?
Government research created the internet.
Really? I thought that businesses created the tax base to build the roads, not have it funneled. And I guess Al Gore built the internet. I thought government went out and got science already developed and deployed it, and people over decades purchased computers, set up their own servers, paid for the telecoms to build up with our purchasing in the free market. I thought that's what built that market, just like organic foods was built by consumer choices. Joseph Farah of WorldNetDaily, he has really openly shown himself, for people that have studied Lenin, Stalin, Mao, all of them. I mean, this comes out of Hugo Chavez's mouth every day when they take somebody's business, even small ones, and nationalize it. For people that don't know, is that not pure Marxism that we're hearing there?
Yeah, that's classic collectivism. We all did it. Nobody could achieve anything independently. We all did it. Everything that happened, we're all responsible for it. Anything good that happened, of course, anything that bad happens, that's usually blamed on you and me, but people like us. But every good work that happens because of government, and that is classic Marxism, and you're hearing it from the guy sitting in the White House. I never thought I would see this day in my life, but getting back to what we were talking about in terms of where we are now, I was talking about 2008. My position was don't vote for either one of these guys, McCain or Obama, because the likely outcome, I admitted back then, would be an Obama victory. In fact, I didn't think there was any way McCain was going to beat Obama no matter what. He ran the most idiotic campaign. He wasn't a defender of the Constitution. What reason was there to vote for the guy affirmatively? He was responsible for some dreadful legislation, the whole political contributions business and whatnot. My position was none of the above. And I predicted that Obama was going to win, and what would happen is people would, it's almost like every generation has to learn a lesson over again about socialism. And I thought, okay, we're going to have to experience some pain here for people to wake up. And predictably, it happened. That was the Tea Party movement, And people were out there by the millions protesting, and I thought, man, I'm really good, I figured this out. But something's happened, Alex, since 2010. It's like they all went back to sleep again because they think they elected some Republicans to take over the House, who turn out to be not much different at the end of the day than the Congress that was there before, because the Republicans are giving Obama all the money he needs, but letting him borrow all the money he needs to continue these insane collectivist programs and even create some new ones like Obamacare. And so today, I think we're in a different place. Like I said on the last time we visited, I think right now we're fighting for our very survival. It's not just our freedom we're fighting for. People like you and me, we are going to be facing extinction, and I don't say that lightly.
I've never heard you talk like this, and this happened right at the end of the last interview, so we didn't have time to have you elaborate. We're about to go to break, but Joseph Farah, start over when we come back from break, explaining exactly what you mean by this, because I don't want you to be cut short here, because folks, if you haven't been audited, or you haven't been physically attacked, or you haven't been death threatened, where they are listening to your phones and tell you they're listening to your phones, and tell you what you were just saying so you know they're listening to your phones. We have the NSA openly announcing that it is listening and watching us in live time. It's totally illegal. We do have these armored pillboxes, 400+ million rounds of ammo being bought, Army re-education camps being set up, gun confiscation plans in declassified Army documents. I mean, this is real. And there are a lot of scenarios where the people in charge right now may decide to go all the way. So I'm going to get Joseph Farah's take on that straight ahead.
We're on the march. The empire's on the...
I'm Alex Jones. Our guest is Joseph Farah of WorldNetDaily. There aren't many big alternative media outlets. There's DrudgeReport.com, WorldNetDaily.com, Infowars.com, and PrisonPlanet.com, Newsmax to a certain extent. And there are a lot of other great sites. It's just they're not huge. And we are huge. And so we have the White House responding to us, attacking us. If you look at WorldNetDaily, 1 week before the book, Where's the Birth Certificate, came out, they had said there was no long form, that the receipt was it. Then they released the new one that was totally fake, been proven fake. I'm going to get into that new news that WorldNetDaily's been right on top of with Joe Arpaio and all the new demonization over that subject. But 1 week before, they come out and release the birth certificate, directly aiming it at WorldNetDaily. Folks, if I was really born in the United States, or I was who I said I was, I wouldn't even respond or care. Or I would have released it 4 years ago. Now we know why they haven't. It's because he officially put out through his own publicist for 16 years that he was born in Kenya. His wife said it. That was a cover story. They're hiding who the dad was. So I guess he can say with a straight face, it's Hawaii. The point is we knew a cover-up was there. The records are sealed. But we're going to get to that in a moment with Joseph Farah. My point here is they countered him. They had Esquire come out and say the book had been recalled and that they'd apologized and were giving full refunds for retail costs that would have bankrupted them, not just for the cost of the book, but what the store was going to sell it for. They acted like they were scared, and they responded. Then they released the Bin Laden fable a week after that. I mean, they were acting like this was the end of their political careers. And so, Joseph Farah, you've never really talked like this, because I've been following you since 1996, so 16 years ago. I've never heard you talk about we're going to be hunted down if they get back in. What spectrum of data do you come to that hypothesis with? Because, I mean, I respect your vision and understanding of things, watching it so long, even before WorldNetDaily, running large papers around the country and running the Western Journalism Center. What are you getting at here? What are you expecting? You have the floor. Repeat what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, well, first of all, you know, I got a little experience. We lived through the Clinton years, and that was, you know, when WND was just first getting started, and we saw how they came after us. And it was pretty, you know, pretty brutal, pretty ruthless, pretty obvious with the IRS attacks and so forth. Then, you know, we went through 8 years of Bush. Well, you know, we were extremely critical of Bush. Believe me, I never got invited to the White House. You know, even though